Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about what you guys have all keep asking me. What is Web3? You keep going, all right, what is this Web3? I understand Web1. Look, we all got websites. We got Web2 influencers and social media. But the guest we have on today, Eric McHugh, is literally the leading expert in understanding Web3 technology. He's going to really help you understand how this will decentralize and really help create equality throughout the marketplace for you and your ability to create revenue in a way that, look, if you get this, folks, you, no matter where you are going to be able to create revenue for you, your family, and your community in ways that it never was available for before. So really, let's take a deep breath. I know it's a big idea. It's something new that a lot of you feel stupid about. But today, Eric is going to bring us right into what is Web3, what is NFT tokens, and really start to understand those platforms. And I'm really excited about this one. So Eric, welcome to the platform.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
When we jump into this idea, the big idea, we talked about, what is Web1, right? We got websites, right? I go throw my tile out there. Hey, I'm selling sneakers. Here's my platform, and here's my www.anthonysneaker.com, right? And I created myself. That was kind of a static Web1, right?
Correct. Yeah. So in Web1, you can read content. So anyone in Web1 can create content, and then people can read content.
All right, got it. And you can read the content, you got the content. That makes sense. Now we get to Web 2. It gets a little bit different, right? So let's talk a little bit. What's the difference between Web 1 and Web 2?
Yeah, so this is a really important difference. In Web 1, you can read content, and in Web 2, you can read and write content. So I want you to think of Instagram, social media, Facebook, all that jazz. So anyone on Instagram could create content, and anyone on Instagram could also read the content, which leads to bigger issues. You don't own the content, meaning Instagram's the one who owns the content, meaning they could cancel you at any point in time when they wish for any reason. And they also can monetize your data, your content, to make them richer.
And that was always like the thing that pissed me off the most, because I was always like, as something I misspell something, something I say wrong, and all of a sudden, I've lost websites. Somebody said something that I didn't. It wasn't anything about me, but somebody else said something on one of my platforms that got it canceled, and all of a sudden, you lose all of that, and it's frustrating, right? It takes a while to go back and get that figured out. But it's a lot to. You feel very vulnerable when it's in their hands.
Exactly. And I've known friends personally who've lost YouTube channels, who haven't done anything wrong. They get flagged by a random bot or a hater or something like that. And then they're in the YouTube system and they have no power, meaning, dude, this is my life's work. This is how I pay my rent money. And I'm canceled for whatever reason. I have to wait 3 weeks for a potential review. Dude, that's not right in my book. And to drive things even further, websites can, like social media platforms, can retroactively cancel you if you don't own the data, meaning we could be talking about this podcast, everything what we said will be respectful, will be good, but in 10 years, who knows what's okay to say. So they can retroactively cancel someone for what they've done. So I think or data ownership is an extremely important issue going forward.
Yeah, right. Think about that from my own freedom, right? For me to control my own language, what I put out on the world, for me to be able to control that. So let's get into why Web3 becomes the differentiating factor here.
Yeah, so Web3, and I would consider Web3 as read, write, and own. So just like Web1 or Web2, people can read content, people can create content, but more importantly, you can own that content. And this is all centered around cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies. So in Web3, if a creator or brand or consumer were to create that content, so let's say you, Anthony, for example, you create a Web3 based content, I purchase your Web3 technology based content, no one can cancel that. So it's a direct stream of value between me and you. So now we have a relationship that's verifiable on the blockchain. And the cool thing is that relationship exists it exists forever. So meaning you could continuously give me value and I could continuously give you value back. Like, let's say hypothetically, you're selling products, you're a music artist, you're whatever. I purchase your NFT technology. Now there's a connection. 20 years down the line, your music career really takes off. I supported you in the beginning, like, hey, Eric, thank you for being one of my OGs. I'm now front stage at Coachella. Here's some airdropped front row tickets. Here's some autographed merch. Oh, you supported me earlier? Oh, you can vote on which song will be first on the album. So again, it's just a way to create a connection between a creator and consumer that can't be canceled.
Well, one of the other things you're competing with now is, today's environment with Web 2, the problem is you're that artist and you go to marketplace to sell your tickets. And now you're up against not it used to be you want consumers, but now you're competing with these bots, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's a huge issue, and especially I don't personally watch Taylor Swift, but in the past example, in her past concert, my uncle had to buy tickets for our cousin as like a graduation present, and he told me he's paid through the nose for those tickets. So what happened is someone purchased all the tickets at the very beginning, and then through sites like Ticketmaster, resold for like 10, 20 times the profit. And not only does the end consumer lose in that situation because they're paying like 20 times the profit for some Taylor Swift tickets, but Ticketmaster itself is profiting that. Again, all sucking value from the end consumer. And given the economic climate, I think everyone should keep most of their value within themselves if possible.
Well, it's frustrating, right? Because I got the same thing. My daughter loves Taylor Swift, and I want to go there. I literally found out that in order for me to buy tickets, it was cheaper for me to buy tickets in Europe and fly over there with her and go to a concert in Europe rather than buy tickets here, because the prices for 2 tickets to take my daughter and I to go to Taylor Swift concert was more expensive to buy them here in Chicago than it was to buy 2 tickets and 2 airline tickets and the tickets to go to them in Europe. So it's exactly what happened. The bots got them, the resellers got them. I'm now buying. They understand that I want good tickets. I'm an old man. I'm not sitting, third, 3 floors up. I'm going to be down front. So the bots buy those first and understand that those people have extra money. But now I'm paying what I don't think is fair, right? I just want to have an experience with my daughter, and now I'm forced to buy a ticket. I'm sure Taylor Swift isn't real happy about that, but it's kind of the environment that Web 2 has created is that the bots have figured out how to manipulate that. Now, so you're saying going forward that Taylor Swift will be able to build a relationship with me and will be able to sell those directly to me without having that middleman?
Exactly. So for token gated tickets, and this is a big problem in e-commerce. So botting is a problem I'm intimately aware of. So in the world of e-commerce, someone drops a limited product, and then within seconds, not even like less than a second, their whole inventory is swooped up, and then the products get resold on the secondary market for 10 times the profit, which is happening with entertainment tickets. And Taylor Swift isn't happy because her ticket, her life's work is now getting sold for a massive profit. She doesn't really get any of that benefit. And on top of that, if you're a good creator, you most likely care about your fans or your customers or whatnot. And now you, as the customer, you're paying 10, 20 times the price. So it's pretty ridiculous. And this is okay.
Yeah. That's happening not just in Taylor Swift tickets. It's happening with Christmas gifts this year. It's happening with all kinds of stuff that the bots have figured. They've figured out how to manipulate the system to buy up the inventory. Right? It's happening in the sneaker world. Look, it just happened with me with purses. My wife wanted a certain purse that she wanted, and I don't know if she wanted, but I wanted to give it to her. But I went to buy them, and I'm like, this has got to be 3 times what it was last time I looked at it. So somehow or another, the bots bought them up, and now I got to buy them on a secondary market at a premium.
Exactly. And honestly, the bots are getting better and better. Like I've dealt with personal bot teams, like in terms of intelligence level and adaptability, I can see why they're so successful at what they do, even though it may not be for the good of the community.
So talk to me a little bit. So Web3. So let's get a little bit deeper into that. So now I want to create a Web3 company, right? I want to start to go through it. I want to put out my shingle. I want to create anthonysneakers.com out there and sell some great sneakers. I'd like a brand. Let's say I want to go out and find a brand. Talk to me a little bit about what's the idea behind Web3 and how that makes me. How do I equalize that for myself?
Yeah, so within Web3 as Anthony's sneaker brand, let's say you launch your brand, you're just getting started, you want to be successful. So there are plenty of ways Web3 can add value to your brand. So I think of Shopify brands as perfectly fine. Like if you want to sell sneakers online, Shopify, WooCommerce work pretty well. Web3 can just augment what you're already doing. So let's say hypothetically you are just starting your sneaker brand and you want to work within Web3, then you can use companies like ShopX to start earning Web3 revenue and add Web3 benefits. So we've seen this in the past. So you, Anthony, you're starting a sneaker brand, you're not sure how it goes. You can sell a NFT collection to create a connection with potential customers prior to the release of your brand. And this does a couple of things. First off, it gives you capital to actually launch your brand. So think of like a Kickstarter thing, which is really powerful because obviously the big brands in the world, like the Nikes, the Sephoras, all of that, they have capital to throw out for days. But if you're a smaller brand, you're working a 9 to 5, this is you're running a Shopify store too, you're not sure how it goes. Not everyone has 5 to 10K to throw out a brand for an idea to see how it goes. And on top of that, let's say you're able to successfully sell out your NFT collection prior to the release of your brand. You now then set up your product, your store is live. You now have a good base of who you know is going to purchase your product, because let's say you sell 100 passes, those people already bought into your brand. They're very likely to purchase the product from your brand because they've already bought in. So you have a core fan base at the beginning, and having this core fan base is extremely important at the beginning, because when you're starting a brand, having word of mouth marketing, having loyal customers, having people you actually care about, that is paramount for your brand success, meaning they feel like they own the brand. So if your brand, Anthony Sneakers, goes fantastically well, and I hope it does, becomes the new Nike of the world, they were there at the beginning. So their NFT value should increase exponentially, and they're excited. Now they have incentive to talk about your brand. Like, for example, like I have your pass. I'm like, oh, cool, Anthony Sneakers launching. I just got this exclusive drop from Anthony because I have the NFT pass. No one else can have it. And I start posting about it. People are like, well, what is this cool thing? And this all stems back to the ownership aspect of the NFT pass. Because I own the NFT pass, we now have a connection, and you can continuously give me benefits, or it can be one-off products. So however you want to do it. And if you're like the Taylor Swift of the sneaker world, and we've seen brands do this in the past, where it's like you can create a separate channel for the NFT pass holders, and then I could give my input on sneakers, help design, and then we could talk on a more personal level. So that just increases the personal relationship between me and the brand, or in this case, Eric McHugh and Anthony Sneakers.
So this is really creating a dynamic difference between, what shareholders were in the past, right? I mean, when I was younger, they say, go out and find really healthy companies that you believe in, that really have, you can see value, buy companies that you believe in, right? And so you go out there and you find the Disney's or the, whatever it was that you believed in at the time, right? And you'd buy them, and hopefully their stock would go up. And that's the same thing now. You're literally are becoming a partner, and by buying that token to help invest in that company's development, and you literally are becoming a partner in their development. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, no, that's the general sentiment around the statement. So in old school Web 2, the better the brand does, the more the shareholder values increases. But with Web 3, because you have that you have the NFT ownership, and with the NFT ownership, that's NFTs completely yours. So whatever you want to do that you can. The brand can't just like take it back, or like that's something Amazon always does too. They give out credits, AWS credits for startups. You get a certain amount of credits and then they cancel them next year, which is actually it's a big issue in the startup world. So Amazon can't do something like that. Whereas you as a brand, you create the NFT. Now there's a connection between me and you. And as the brand increases, first off, I'm stoked about the brand increase. I really want it to increase. So that helps transmute thought energy into a positive nature, which is really important. But then I could share in the success of the brand too. And it's great too, because it's a win-win for the brand and the consumer, because the brand's winning, but I bought into the brand because I love the brand. If the brand's winning, I'm winning with the brand I love, and I get products along the way. It's a fantastic situation for everyone.
So let's go through the actual transaction. I start Anthony Sneaker Company. I have an NFT that I create, right? A tokenized share essentially of my company.
I wouldn't want to classify it as a share, but you have.
Tell me. Talk.
Yeah, you start Anthony's Sneaker Company. You're on Shopify, you're on WooCommerce, or you want a bespoke solution. You download the ShopX app, and then directly within the Shopify App Store, you can launch a NFT collection. So you do this by filling out 2 forms. So you fill out 2 forms, like a name, an image, a price, versus hire a Web3 developer, hire a designer. So all that can be done in 5 minutes. It's so easy. My grandma could do that. And since we're already connected to your Shopify store, all your products are there. You select which products want to come with the NFT. So it could be product A, NFT holders get exclusive access. Product B, NFT holders get access for a week early. So now your NFT is created. You get a URL for your customers to purchase that NFT. How you as a brand want to get that URL URL out is totally up to you. So if you have email marketing, social media marketing, you want to just text it out. Again, brands get creative with this. Your customer then sees the NFT like, okay, if I purchase Anthony's sneakers NFT, I get sneaker A and I get exclusive access to sneaker B. I'm excited. How do I purchase this as a customer? I go to the URL. Again, it's just a basic URL. I click either purchase with Ethereum because we are a Web3 company. We believe in the ethos of classic cryptocurrency. So for the Web3 natives, if you want to purchase an Ethereum, you can do that as well. But we understand that not everyone wants to purchase an Ethereum. So we integrate with Crossmint. So you as a customer can purchase an Ethereum, or you can purchase the NFT with credit card. What's happening in the back end is the customer is technically purchasing Ethereum with credit card. They're paying for the gas fees as well, and the brand is going to Ethereum. But from the customer's point of view, because we want to keep it as simple as possible, you're just buying the NFT. You just see the credit card purchase for the amount of the NFT, and it's like, okay, good to go.
Got it. So now I set up my Shopify, right? I go to ShopX. I set up my account with ShopX. I fill out a couple of forms I got to fill out to get this thing rolling. And now I take my tile and I go out and I put this on every social media platform I can find. Talk to me about what does it take to be successful? And look, I'm just a single guy sitting out in the middle of a small town USA. I want to start to build something. What's my roadmap to success?
Yeah, the roadmap to success is very simple. First off, download the app, launch an NFT collection, and just send it out to your customers. The best way to do it is to take a classical Web2 marketing approach, meaning email marketing, SMS marketing, social media. Those work pretty well. What we've seen work really well in the past is having a pre-launch of the NFT, like, for example, sending out a Google form via social media saying, who's interested in this sneaker, please fill out this form. So you kind of know how many people are going to buy the pass, and then you can deal with them on an individual basis.
Where are they finding that list? Where are they getting a list of people to send it to? Their social media, like their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter. Is that where they're getting it?
Yeah, so either, I would say the best bet is current customers, or if you're a new brand, on social media. The reason the current customers work so well is because they've already bought into your brand, and this is just creating a super fan out of them. Because if they're your most loyal customers already purchasing your product, now they have all the more reason to just build that hype for you.
But what if I have no customers? I'm literally, this is day one. I haven't started. This is my first walk into the whole experience. What am I doing? How am I getting? How am I making this thing into something valuable?
Yeah, so I would say the first, if you have your brand, you have no customers, you want to incorporate Web3 into your solutions, the best thing you could do is bake into the benefits of the Web3, saying you purchase this pass and you're going to be one of the members for life. And how you get those customers is totally up to you. I've seen plenty of success on social media through paid advertisements. So creating a funnel from going from ad to Instagram page, and then from the Instagram page, this is another product and service you can offer. Of course, there are classical ways of getting customers, just like classic emailing, SMS, all that good stuff. Gotcha. So whatever you're doing normally, this is a great way to augment this and play around with it and make it individual to yourself.
Well, that's what's really funny about today's environment keeps changing, right? I'm 55 years old. I've gone through a lot of changes in 55 years, and sometimes I feel really stupid, like, oh my God, Eric, I can't do another one. I can't change again. But then I say to myself, or some business coach will say to me, stop. You've changed. You continue to change. Like, if you don't change, right, it's just like the jungle. If you don't continue to grow, right, you will get sick and die, and the hyenas will come and eat your company up, right? They're always out there looking for you. If you don't continue to look forward at the opportunities that are coming at us, the new technologies, and you're going to feel stupid, right? I feel stupid when I talk about these things because I'm not a master of it. I've mastered plenty of other companies. With all the companies I've had, I've been able to master those. But today I start another idea, or I start to look at this. I'm like, it's confusing. I'm not sure I understand how to get there. I feel a little vulnerable. I feel a lot vulnerable when I get into this. I mean, it's completely fair to go there, right?
No, and honestly, and one of the laws of the universe is everything's always changing. But no, it's perfectly fair to be vulnerable. We understand this is a new technology. Not everyone's ready for it. So I personally recommend the crawl, walk, run approach. What that essentially is pretty much just start small. Maybe do like a small collection, or just play around with it, get on a demo call. And then from there, if it works well for you, and there's no guarantee it will. This is a technology that works for some brands. It won't work for everyone, but it's about effort and elbow grease and intention. So yeah, so start off small, works well. Your customers see it, like, oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, I see these 50 people got this exclusive product. We want in on the next one. So start off small, do a managed launch, and then from there, you kind of learn how the technology works. because one of the most important, obviously the most important thing ShopX is a B2B2C customer company, meaning we could sign all the brands in the world, but it doesn't matter if they can't sell the product to their customers. So the most important thing for me is ensuring that the customer has a pleasant user experience. And to do that, the brands have to be able to properly educate the customer on the benefits of this technology, and more importantly, what it would mean for them. And once the customer's like, okay, this is what it means for me, this is why I'm interested, here's how to do it. So you want to lay that foundation. It's like, okay, this really is for you. You'll get X, Y, and Z benefits. It's a simple process. You just have to do a little bit of legwork.
Well, I mean, that customer that I'm acquiring, I got to figure out, one, why are they going to buy from me as opposed to go on Amazon and go click? It's Amazon one buy, right? What's the story that I'm selling? What's the idea? Why are they buying it from me as opposed to going to Amazon and buying the product?
Yeah, so this is actually a really important thing for e-commerce and why Web3 technologies help so well. So in e-commerce, a customer acquisition cost is essentially the cost the brand pays to acquire their customer. This can be because of paid ads or whatever they do. And more times than not, the customer acquisition costs for the brand is actually more than the revenue they make from the first purchase. So the brand is losing money on the first purchase. So the name of the game isn't getting the customer. The name of the game is actually keeping the customer. And this all circles back to the ownership aspect of the NFT product and services. Meaning if your customers own that NFT, they feel like they own the brand, they come back once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at a high conversion rate. So it's a way to make your product really sticky. So if you're a new brand, you're struggling to get customers, you get 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5. Even if it's just 10, that's a great base. And then because to build a successful brand, you need that strong base. If you do a bunch of paid ads, get 100 customers, but they never come back to your store again, great, you sold 100 products, but you also lost money. But if you get 10 people continuously shopping at your store, which Web3 does so well, and keep in mind, which Web3 does so well, you're going to be successful. And on top of that, I personally think metrics are great. I think every company should be data-driven, but it's hard to measure the second, third, and fourth order effects, which come from word-of-mouth marketing. So for example, if a company enters Web3, they sell 10 passes, those 10 people are talking to people in the background, but you just can't track that. And that's the most effective form of marketing, in my opinion. Like, I'm personally more likely to buy a product my friend recommends to me than seeing an ad 5, 6 times, which is I think the average amount of touch points you need to make that purchase. But that's seven Instagram ads. My friend's word holds more weight than those 7 ads.
So by just being a partner in owning my company, right? They essentially own part of my company by getting involved early on, right? And I've made them a deal saying, hey, look, I've given some exclusive rights to incentivize them to get involved early on. Now I've created some ownership in me and the brand, right? And now they become loyal to me. That's kind of the concept.
Exactly. They now have skin in the game.
Got it. I love that. I love that. It's kind of going back to old school right now, where people actually love the brand. They actually get invested in the brand. It's makes your brand craveable.
Yeah, and time's a spiral. So we're circling back to what worked in the past.
That's genius. You guys are working on a lot of stuff over there. I know one of the things I want to talk about is your new dating app that you got coming out this February.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a super funny app, and I think it's going to add great benefit to the whole world. So I'm excited about that.
Talk about it. Take us down the path. And first of all, what's the name of it?
It's dating, DATAING.io. So Data Inc.
Data Inc.io. It's going to be the name of it. And what's the differentiating factor between this one and other dating sites?
Yeah, so the differentiating factor between this dating app and other dating sites like Tinder, Hinge, and all that is the way that dating apps are successful. Right now, for Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all those sites to be successful, and they're all owned by Match.com for listeners, it's kind of interesting. But for them to be successful, they rely on something called churn marketing. So how do they make their money? How do they make their money? They have paid subscribers for users. So if someone's on Tinder, they match with someone they love, they get married. Hopefully they get off the app and they stop paying for the subscription. But then Tinder loses a customer, so they don't have that. So what they do is they focus on just keeping people on a revolving wheel of what I view as like unpleasant dating experiences. So dating changes that. And again, Tinder, Hinge, they all focus on physicality, like just it's all physical looks. Like the top 5, if you look at the metrics, like the top 5% of people on the apps get access to like 90% of the people. And again, it's all in the media, like hot, not. So what dating does, it takes a completely different approach. And we've also made it, and again, going back to simplicity, we make it as simple as possible for the users. So Cupid is the first ever AI-powered matchmaking service. So imagine this: you're tired of Hinge, you're tired of Bumble, you're tired of all that stuff. You just want to find someone you authentically connect with. You could sign up for our site, Dating, and then you would link your social media profiles like your LinkedIn, Pinterest, Spotify, Instagram, really whatever one you want. And then on the back end, it'll create a profile for you so you don't have to do any work. And then it'll give you 3 to 4 matches a day based on your profile, on who the dating app or who Cupid will think you match with. So like, let's say I went to Ford University, I'm into fitness, I have family, I go to this type of food, I tag a lot of national parks. It picks that all up for me on the back end, and then it'll give me 3 matches based on that. And the cool thing is, and this is another differentiator between dating and Tinder, is like they go mass like swipes. It's like, okay, they want to show 100 people, you swipe right on them, you do your thing. We want to focus on giving you limited number of matches per day and really diving into the matches. So I can be like, okay, my profile is Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. I see a brief bio on all 3 of them. And then from there, I can learn more about the individual person. Because again, you want to learn more about the person. That's where the real human connection is. So I'm like, okay, Jane catches my fancy. Can you please tell me more about Jane? What's she like? How many Instagram followers does she have? Is she on private? What does she do for fun? And then it can spit out more information on that. And the cool thing is, it can even help plan the dates. So for example, the Cupid, it notices that both Jane and I listen to a lot of R&B on our Spotify playlist. Like, okay, Jane also listens to 25% R&B on your Spotify playlist. Oh, did you know there's a concert coming up in a month at this venue? It's in the middle between both of you. Would you like me to suggest this date for you and Jane? And then Cupid will make the suggestion, and then they can match off of that. So in the end, this could be used, and then me and Jane hit it off. So that's normally where dating apps would end. But then me and Jane, we're both still in Cupid. It can be a matchmaking butler for us. So let's say 20 years down the line, we get married, we have 2 kids, we're obviously super busy, we can't plan our dates. It could be like, hey, the restaurant you guys go to has 10% off the specific sandwich. Hey, the band you first on your first date, they're coming back in town. May I suggest going there? So it really gets the whole cycle. And again, the whole goal.
Okay, wait, can it make it less awkward for that first, the first 3 minutes of the date? That walking up to the new person, like, and feeling like, oh my God, they're gonna find out everything about me. They're gonna help make that less awkward.
No, it all goes back to the person. People still need to talk to the opposite sex or the same sex. We don't judge.
Can it help me? Can it help me get to the first kiss a little faster? All right, that's enough.
Yeah, yes, it can, because it puts you in a position to be successful. Like, for example, if you're approaching a random girl at a bar or randomly matching on a dating app, you don't know what's happening on the back end. So at this point, if it works, it's theoretically screened someone who already has kind of similar interests from you. So it should make the whole conversation flow a lot easier, because you can talk about stuff you're already kind of compatible. So it puts you as a user in the best position to succeed, which I think is really all we can ask for.
Well, which is kind of funny, because when we talk about going back to old school, this is kind of what the old arranged marriages were like, right? Your mom and dad kind of went through their background and their family and their community, and kind of got, well, this girl will be a great match for you, based on her background, her family, her upbringing. They did all the kind of weeding of all that stuff out for you. Now we got software that's doing that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, and dude, I agree with the arranged marriages type of thing, where, I mean, I hope everyone is happy, but the parents may just kind of pick on specific traits. So I would consider this more of like a matchmaking service, where in the world, matchmakers are pretty expensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Where if you want to match with someone, it's gonna be like thousands of dollars in the United States, which is ridiculous.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, tens. This democratizes this for everyone at scale. And the cool thing about our system is, again, our goal is to match you with someone who you authentically match with. So let's say the first 3 matches don't work. It's not correctly matching. You're going to say no, you're going to say yes, you're going to say blah, blah, blah. The longer you're in dating, the smarter it gets, and the better it gets at picking up on your specific tendencies to match you with someone you like. So it'll kind of understand, like, oh, why did they match with person B? Why didn't they match with person C? So the longer you're on, the better it's going to get at doing that. And this scales up with all the users. So, like, again, when dealing with massive groups of people, you want to pick a pattern. So it's going to get really good at pattern recognition.
Well, I think that's really where this next, in 2024, your launching of this, and as it grows, the first version of it's great, but as it continues to get smarter and smarter, pattern recognition, starting to understand me, AI will understand me better than I understand myself. Those AI platforms that will be with me all the time. My judgment is that in 2024, we're going to see a differentiating factor by having AI be able to really know me, and then that AI will also communicate with with her AI and be able to match us together in ways that I could not have imagined from where I stand today. And it's going to be quite amazing. It's a little scary because we're all a little nervous, like, how's AI going to know me better than myself? But just imagine it's going to be with us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's going to get to know us, our background, our social media, the pictures, where we're at, and where we travel to, how we communicate. They really will get to know us in a much smarter way.
Yeah, no, like imagine this too. It's like you visit this coffee shop every day. You're walking around the mall, the same mall you do every day, and then you get a notification on your phone. It's like, hey, Jane's also on Cupid AI. She's at this coffee store right now. You guys have a bunch of similar interests. May I suggest you go and approach Jane? And she gets a notification at the same time, so it helps break the ice barrier. And long term, we are starting to build the VR portion of this app, so we wouldn't be the first apps on the in VR. So not everyone's comfortable meeting someone in person. We totally understand the stranger danger aspect. Like, it takes a lot of effort. So I personally like to meet people in person just because their vibe. But if you want, you can you'll be able to do like obviously like a FaceTime or a VR meeting as well. Yeah. And this is also cool because long term, I view one of the biggest ways we can help society is to help bring back communities. So this could also be a friend app. So I could also find other men in my general area who are like into Muay Thai, into reading, all of that. So that could be, it's going to be a way to facilitate real authentic interactions, whether that be dating, whether it be finding friends, whatever you want. We don't judge, but we're going to start with the dating aspect.
That's fun, Eric. The work that you guys are doing is fun. You guys are on that leading edge, and look, if folks want to get a hold of you and get involved with the work you're doing, if they want to be an employee of one of your companies, or they want to get involved with what you're doing, they want to have you come in and speak with their group about how to grow their platforms. What's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, we're always looking to work with cool people. The best way is our company website. So ShopX, SHOPX.co, and dating, DATAING.io. And if you want to get a hold of me directly, your best bet's probably LinkedIn. So Eric McHugh, EricMchugh.
Eric, I'll put all those links down below. Our team will always do that for you. If you guys have any questions or any comments about something you heard today, as always, look, put that down there. Eric and I love this conversation. I'd love to continue to challenge your ideas, your thinking. Look, if we pissed you off, if we made you happy, if there's something you have a question, put that down below. Tell me about your dating app story. Give me your funniest ones out. Give me your saddest one out there. Tell me what worked, what didn't work. Eric and I want to hear about it. As always, we're grateful for you listening. If you could take a second right now and like and subscribe, all the boys and girls in the background that put this podcast together would be grateful. I know I will, and it just means the world to me to hear your comments and get your likes and your when you guys become subscribers. So thank you very much for listening. As always, Eric McHugh, thank you very much for being who you are and being on this podcast. I am extremely grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I had a blast, and I hope every one of your listeners has an amazing life.